RGG, the studio behind the Yakuza / Like a Dragon series, has been one of the most prolific in the industry. They've released the game pretty much every year for over a decade, and in a few short weeks, they're releasing Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties, a full-on remake of the 2010 Yakuza 3, as well as the brand new game Dark Ties packaged in. Recently, they dropped a demo where you can play a slice of each game filled with combat, mini-games, and much more. Sega reached out to see if I wanted to check out the demo to cover it, and of course, I said yes. I've dabbled in the series quite a bit over the years, but this game has caught my eye for a very special reason that I'm excited to get into with this video. And if you want to try it for yourself, the demo is available now on all platforms, with the full game dropping on February 12th for PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and Switch 2. And special thanks to Sega and RGG Studios for sponsoring this video. Now, let's actually dive into the demo.
心配するな。どこの誰だろうと、そんな勝手な真似はさせない。
First, I'll be covering Yakuza Kiwami 3, and then I'll touch on Dark Ties. Before beginning the game, you can select both your text and audio languages. The text is available in 12 different languages, and the audio is available in English, Japanese, and to my surprise, Chinese. I went with Japanese audio as this seems to be the preferred way to go for most players. Yakuza Kiwami 3 begins with Kazuma Kiryu in Okinawa, Japan. He's living on an orphanage with several children, however, he keeps getting threatening letters trying to evict him. The landowners, the Ryudo family, are wanting to tear down the orphanage so they can build a seaside resort. So Kiryu sets off to meet with the head of the Ryudo family to try and settle this dispute. The demo is relatively short, maybe like 30 minutes for each game, and there's honestly not that much story, so I'll just leave that for you to discover for yourself. I will say that I like this setup for the story. It's very easy to empathize with what Kiryu is going through. I mean, who wouldn't want to save children from corporate scum? And after the brief introduction, you're given free reign to walk around and explore a small section of Okinawa. Having not played the original Yakuza 3, I have to say I was incredibly excited to learn that a good chunk of the game takes place in Okinawa, as this city holds a special place in my heart for a few reasons. The first being that one of my favorite movies, The Karate Kid Part 2, takes place there. My grandpa looks exactly like Mr. Miyagi. I mean, just look for yourself. I've lost count of the number of times people have asked for his autograph, even well after Mr. Miyagi's actor Pat Morita passed away. But more importantly, it's where I proposed to my fiance. I'll always remember that trip fondly, and Okinawa will always be a pretty special place to me. And exploring reminded me of that trip, and they absolutely nailed the look and vibe. There are tons of touristy shops, more than you can possibly imagine. I was thinking to myself, the only thing that would make this perfect would be an Orion beer collaboration. If you've ever been to Okinawa, you know this brand is absolutely unmissable. There's shops and people wearing merch everywhere. Well, it turns out there actually is an Orion beer billboard in the demo. I actually couldn't believe it when I saw it. Absolute perfection. Now, what can you actually do in the demo? Well, there's a number of mini games available, like karaoke, of course. There's arcade games, although several were locked off in this demo version. There's a new bug collecting mechanic where you can run around and catch bugs with a net. I definitely caught quite a few while I was playing. And then there's this new friend adding feature that you can do with your flip phone. There's not much you could really do here in the demo, but I imagine this is going to get much more fleshed out in the full game. And then of course you can go shopping for new outfits, and I had to get my vacation vibe on. Love me some whale sharks. And I unironically love that they have Crocs as an available option. That's so funny. And there's lots of restaurants you can hop into. I had to get me some burgers, fries, and a shake. But the main thing you'll be doing in this demo is getting into combat. Now, Kiryu has two styles, the Dragon of Dojima style and the new Ryukyu style. The Dragon of Dojima style is like your typical brawler style where you can throw punches and kicks. There's lots of fun grabs where you can just grab enemies and beat them down. And you can, of course, also pick up objects and fight with them, which is ridiculous fun. Now, the Ryukyu style is where you fight with Okinawan weapons like tonfas, oars, and much more. I had a lot of fun this one, but I definitely preferred the Dojima style as it's more classic and easier to take on big groups of enemies. And both have meters that you can build up and use for big attacks. And of course, you've got your heat actions, which are also super fun. Overall, I had a great time with the combat. There's such a great flow getting in and out of battles, earning a ton of money, and then just going on to the next one. I saw people online saying that enemies spam block, and I genuinely never saw that once, and I got into a ton of fights, so I'm not sure what people are talking about. And there were also a couple of fun boss fights in the demo as well. A little easy, but it's probably meant to be because I assume this is early in the game. They're trying to just get you into the flow flow of the game, I might bump up the difficulty in the full release, or I might not. Like I said, the combat had a pretty nice flow to it. Now, one part of the demo that generated a lot of conversation was the game's lighting and visuals. While I personally think it looks fine, RGG recently released a message saying that they heard fan feedback and they will be patching the game in a variety of ways for launch. It's always nice to see developers quickly responding to player feedback, and I imagine the game's visuals will look even better around the game's launch on February 12th. And the full release will also include a ton of added content like new cutscenes, new mini games, and other activities. I genuinely can't wait to dive into all this game has to offer. Now, the other half of the demo is from the brand new game packaged in called Dark Ties. Here you play as disgraced businessman Yoshitaka Mine for the first time in the series. After being ousted from his business, he looks to pursue true bonds in the criminal underworld. Now, this demo takes place in Tokyo, mostly at night. And much like with Kiwami 3, the demo has a little bit of story and lets you explore a small part of the city to partake in activities. Of course, there's lots of arcades and mini games. I tried the UFO catcher and sucked pretty bad at it, but I had a real blast playing darts at the pub. Let me know if you can beat my score. And of course, after I partook of a club sandwich and had a nice beer. But again, the majority of this demo is likely going to be combat for you. Here, Mine has a what they call shoot boxing type combat system. He has a lot of fast boxing. He has throws. He'll like get on guys and kind of brawl them on the ground. And he also does this really wild attack where he jumps off one enemy and then attacks another. It's a little tricky to pull off if enemies are too far away, but it's super satisfying in big groups. I had a ton of fun with that. Now, he doesn't have a second moveset, so compared to Kiryu, his moveset is a little bit limited, but still fun. In terms of visuals, I thought it looked great at night. You're walking around the streets of Kamurocho, lots of detail with the neon lights filling up the streets. And this scene here, I feel like shows the glow up of the models particularly well. And while on the shorter side, I enjoyed my time with the demo for Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties. I'm super excited to spend more time in the sun-drenched streets of Okinawa and dive into all the side distractions the game can throw at me. And if you want to try the demo for yourself, it is available now on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and Switch 2. And the game itself launches on February 12th. And if you want to pre-order the game now, you can click the link in the description or the pinned comment below. And if you've tried the demo already, definitely let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.